family give you different advice on whether to feed from one breast or both breasts at every feed. It can be confusing, so what's best to do?
After a few minutes of feeding, your breast milk becomes richer in fat, and this is what really helps your baby grow. So it is important not to switch breasts before your baby has finished getting milk from the first breast.
Shall we try on your little booby?
When your baby has finished one breast, offer them the second breast. They might not want it, but let your baby decide.
There you go. You don't want it, no? I'm not interested.
And start each session of feeding on different breasts to keep both breasts producing lots of milk.
One of the most common reasons that mothers give up breastfeeding is they worry they're not producing enough milk. What should you do if you're worried about your milk supply?
It's quite natural for people to think that they don't have enough milk. I mean, that's one of the reasons why people give up. But to reassure you, I like to tell you that most mothers can breastfeed successfully and the babies will have enough milk. You've got enough milk to feed twins.
Sometimes I do worry whether or not I'm producing enough milk, but my midwife has assured me that, I am producing more than enough milk. And if I'm ever worried or concerned, just to continually breastfeed, because the more you feed, the more milk you'll actually produce.
If you're still worried that your baby isn't getting enough milk, try to get help from family, friends, or a health professional. Most mothers, especially new mothers, will worry at some point about how often their baby needs to be fed.
There's no hard and fast rule on how often you feed your baby. We say feed your baby when the baby wants to be fed. And then for the first few months of life, the best place for the baby is on the breast.
In the beginning, sometimes it's difficult to know how often to feed the baby, but with time they kind of develop a pattern, so you know whether or not they're high. It just gets easier as you know your baby.
Feels like I'm feeding him all the time at the moment, but I know as he gets older he won't need feeding as much.
If your baby is poorly or they're growing, they need to feed a bit more, so don't worry about it. If you think they're feeding frequently, that's fine.
There may be times when you find it difficult to breastfeed, like when you're sick, but do try to continue breastfeeding, otherwise your milk flow may stop and you might find it difficult to breastfeed again when you're better.
If you fall ill, it's really advisable for you to get help. You can have your friends, relatives, or anybody to help you with the chores once you concentrate on feeding your baby and getting better.
There may be times when your friends and family suggest that you give your baby something other than breast milk. This is not advisable. Let's find out why.
It's understandable that in hot weather you feel that you need to give the baby extra water, but you don't need to give extra water. All you need to do is feed, feed, feed.
At 4 months, my baby seemed so hungry I was tempted to give some baby food, but I just breastfed him and he continued to be fine, because I knew breastfeeding was better.
I was tempted to give my baby a formula milk because he seemed hungry. But now I know my body will make the right amount of milk for my baby.
Remember, give vitamin drops and medicine only if you've been advised to do so by a health professional.